You see a lot of streamers like myself or someone else, like a content creator. Night.
Hello?
Night, I'm making a video.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy OmieSaiyan back with a brand new video. With Caldera being out for some time, I think it's important to release a tips video for you guys to learn a little bit of information versus secret mind that happens in here. You know, lay some tricks for you guys to mess some people up. Now, important note, some of this information that I may list to you may seem basic to you, but again, when you guys come into gunfight, a lot of you tend to forget this information and how to use certain things in the game to help you win gunfights. So overall, in this video, we're going to discuss tips and tricks, a better overall summary for you and your team to enjoy the game a little bit more. So please, if you guys don't forget to hit that like button, you know what I mean, it helps, and hit that sub button, my boys. If this video does help you, please let me know. I really love seeing that my video helps a lot more of people, so it really helps a lot and it really pushes me to create more content to help you guys understand the game. So let's get straight into it. Alright, so first off, a lot of you guys are trying to break your PRs, whether it be 5 kills, 10, 20, 30, whatever it may be. So let's discuss the hot drops of this Caldera map. As you can see in this map, in the center of the map, we have a big mountain which slopes down and connects to a lot of positions in the map itself. Which, what are you guys gonna guess? The mountain itself, peak, is the best spot to land. It allows you to do for peak is you get to jump so many different spots, locations. So if you can jump to fields, mines, depending on the certain route of the airplane that it's going. That also helps too. This helps you rotate a lot of different places depending on if you have a UAV up or you're just blindly going into a certain location, and it helps a lot. Another one is airfields, as a lot of you guys see many streamers landing at the spot, so you guys may run into some people like I have too. Airfields, as you can see, when this blind starts off at where airfield is at, you're probably gonna see 40 people jump off at that location. These spots matter because where you rotate from there next on depends on whether you're going to get a high kill gameplay or it's going to be a slow gameplay. Now, you often see many people, just like any BR, we're talking about Battle Royale, Fortnite, many people tend to just jump at a location right off the plane's route. And although this may be a good idea, sometimes it may not lead to the easiest rotations. For example, you see Beachhead, a lot of teams tend to land there depending on the plane's route, but then you got to think about the rotation and the texture and structure of this map. You going from Beachhead to possibly peak is a very different situation. You're expected to climb a mountain. It's very different from Verdansk. You can't easily rotate to another place unless you get a helicopter. So a lot of things to think about in this situation. Now, the second tip is the path of the circle. And what I mean by that is obviously the line where the plane is going to go when you guys start a game. A lot of you tend to forget this, and this is a very basic thing that you guys may be overlooking, but it also tells you where people are going to be landing. And if you guys focus on the top right of your screen, you guys can see how many people jump off to let you know if there's 20-30 people jumping off at a location. So let's say, hypothetically, that airfield is right at the airplane's drop-off point at the very beginning of it. You're possibly going to see 30-40 people, and how you can figure that out, your top right of the screen. It's going to help you a lot figure out if you want to land there or not, or maybe pick a safer route. And also, what it does tell you is that when it's going across the map in a certain direction, it tells you certain points of the spot. So looking at this picture, we can see maybe hypothetically again that it can be peak, it's going across Beachhead, it's going, it tells you certain spots that people will land at. Third tip we're going to talk about is the tacticals in Caldera. Now, as you can see at the end of Verdansk, Stims were starting to get very popular over heartbeat sensors, and now in Caldera you are able to use Stims. A lot of people in the Caldera mode, you cannot use a heartbeat sensor, which is pretty obvious. And you can see a lot of crackheads using Stims and pulling up some ridiculous plays. It is basically a boost which just automatically breaks ankles and takes a little bit of practice. Nice thing it does is it helps you regain your health when you're getting shot in the back to escape from certain situations. The other point is that if you don't like Stims and you think you cannot handle its control, the other thing I can suggest is stuns. A lot of people haven't been running stuns, but when you do get stunned in this game, it is very difficult to get out of it. So for example, and I was just teaching my friend this the other day, if you're in a rock or your house and you're getting pushed at a certain point, and either the opponent is coming from the left or right, and you have a 50-50 shot to think of which direction they're coming from, and you have a stun, guess what? Here's my tip for you. Throw the stun at a certain level throw it left. If it doesn't hit anyone, guess what? Most likely he's either coming to the right side. So these are cues and tricks that definitely help. Use these to your advantage. For example, using the Semtex, throwing it at the top of a window to check if someone's there. If someone's not there for like certain duration, it's a lot of tricks that help you mentally think about the game. We're talking about the loadouts. Beforehand, I was going to tell you something totally different, but now with a certain change to Caldera, you can get your loadouts right off the game. So that means if you get $10,000 and you are in the first couple of minutes in the game, or the very first minute of the game, you can get your loadout now, just like it was in Verdant. So this also means that there's going to be a lot more teams definitely going to have their loadouts. So be aware as you guys are surfing the area of the map. Also, and this can be a fifth tip, is where do the loadouts spawn. So if you are not able to buy a loadout and you're sort of waiting for that first circle to end and a loadout to drop, so most likely my best tip to you, and this is like an easy trick that a lot of people don't know, is that if you wait for the circle to end, so basically there's a 10-second timer basically when the first circle ends that the loadout then spawns. But within those 10 seconds, you can see the line of the circle changing to the next rotation. So what you want to do with your team is rotate to the next circle and be there right away, because your loadout is going to spawn somewhere at the edge of the line right in front of you. I've never really had the loadout spawn outside of it. It's always been in that direction that I'm telling you. So make sure to rotate during those times. The next tip is the money drops. As you guys can see, there are crates around the map that help to revive, to get money really fast without looting. So at the very start of a game, and I've experimented this with myself, is I've landed on a cash money drop, and if it was at a good location, that helps a lot too. Is that you land on the box, and most likely there is going to be another team landing on you, so you're gonna have to battle with the pistol, but it gives you $10,000 right away. And now with this current update, you can get a loadout right away to fight your opponents and get a nice quick game going on. Next, if you grab a marker on the game, let's say a Scavenger or Recon, and it's taking you to a specific location, do you guys ever start to think, why does it take you to that location? What's the thought process? I'll tell you a little bit why. Now, if you take a Scavenger and it starts spawning next level, sometimes it may just allow you just to get money without dealing with any other team, but sometimes these boxes tend to lead you to another team that's very nearby that you never knew of. So pay close attention to that, especially when the loadouts drop. Loadouts tend to drop maybe 2 to 3 boxes, which is also telling you that there are teams nearby. I don't know the exact distance from where it's at, but you do know that if you're most likely going for a loadout, the other teams are coming for it as well. So these are very important situations to understand and think about when you're in game. A lot of people tend to forget this, and if you do tend to keep remembering these certain things that help you, it is going to make a huge difference. The next tip is how to approach the Gulag. This Gulag is pretty difficult to sometimes interpret, especially with the way how some people play in this game. Sometimes you may be playing a Jimmy that just like crouches all the way throughout, and sometimes you may be playing a crackhead. You never know. RNG all over the place. So either with this Gulag, which is kind of hard, I understand, but you can jump through the window and see which direction they tend to take between the spawns. So you can sort of jump right away, and if they don't take a left from your spot, they're gonna be 100% on the right. Also, from what I've seen in my Gulag experience, most people tend to just go in the direction of where the red car is. So that just comes down to a decision of left or right of the car. Now you can push middle if you get that position of the box in the center. Do be aware that sometimes it is hard to listen to the game sound, because you can also hear the footsteps of people above you, which makes no sense because they don't have anything to do with your Gulag other than if they kill you at the rock. How many times is that gonna happen? So always be aware of the certain gun you're using. If it's something you're really highly positive about, like an MP40, engage the gunfight like you want to. But for me, for example, if I get an MG82 and it's about to torque like Megan Stallion, I am probably gonna get my butt off. I'm not gonna lie to you. Next tip is about the Caldera game mode. So this won't relate to the regular battle royale, so do make sure that you understand what I'm saying here. So in this Caldera game mode with Vanguard, every third circle, when it hits, get a surge of free things to buy, such as free revive, self revives. You can get it for free. discounts on UAVs. This is probably the best time for you to pop a advanced UAV and revive all your teammates that are dead. In this scenario, a lot of people in Warzone tend to, most gamer thing you're gonna hear is, I'm chalked, this game's chalked, let's just back out, let's go reset. And a lot of people give up on the game, which sometimes it does not make sense to me, because number one, you have your first life. If you die, you get the Gulag. Now you can win or lose, but that's two lives right there. And if one out of the 4 teammates in your squad stays alive, they can go to any buy cart within the 3rd circle and get all of you guys back. This is very important to think about, especially for the kid that, you know, tends to poop his pants when he's last alive. All right, for your loadouts. Loadouts are very important. In Caldera, you are not really able to just use whatever gun at this point. Just like for Verdansk, you could probably pull out a bullfrog, if you pull out a Milano Uzi or something like that to have fun. Now it is a heavy cam fest. There are bushes everywhere. Everyone's using Brens. The meta hasn't changed really, other than the Cooper Carbine, and I have been hearing word about the C58, but I haven't gotten to it just yet. So make sure, I would just let you guys know, use the best loadout. You guys can see a lot of my past videos, such as Cooper Carbine, Bren. These are still the best class setups I have for you guys. I am still using them, so please do check them out. Now, when you land, obviously you're looking for plates, you're looking for ground loot. Ground loot in Caldera is absolutely horrendous. The possibility sometimes of you getting a good gun is very low. You might just run into 4 M1 Grands, 4 shotguns that just don't do anything, and even 2 launchers. Like, sometimes, what are you gonna do when you shoot the first missile? You know what I mean? Use the STG-44, very, very good gun. MP40, M19, Sten, Owen gun, those are all very good guns for you to pick up off the ground. But those M1 Grands, the launcher, unless you're about to blow someone up next to you, and the shotguns are not the best ones to pick up at the moment. And guys, please don't, unless you get the purple MG82 where it's like the suppressed version of it and you can actually control it, don't pick up an LMG. Like, I don't even pick up a brand off the ground sometimes because that thing just be twerking. All right, this is the final tip. This may be pretty basic to you, but it is very important to understand. This game, Caldera, is a very different pacing. As you guys can see, Verdansk was just a flat. If you landed Superstore, there was just such easy rotations. It's a really understandable game. Buildings to buildings, you know, it just was really understandable. Now we're here at Caldera, and it's just a big, large forest, and literally, Jimmy could be sitting in the bush next to you, and you wouldn't even know. And it is very hard to see. My gosh, I have a freaking great PC, and sometimes I have to be squinting at the game to understand what I'm looking at. And not to mention, again, as I discussed before, the peak is the center of the map, the big holy mountain, if you want to say. And it's really connected to a lot of slopes that are about nearby location. You just have to spend so much time running up the stairs. So this all comes back to your positioning on the game. It helps big time, especially in your gunfight. A lot of times I often can wipe a squad, but I tend to throw my gunfights trying to fight a whole squad at once. So this is only going to take reps out of you. So if you don't play the game, unfortunately, you're not going to learn as faster as someone that spends 8 hours a day. Because in a lot of gunfights where you don't think people are critically thinking, sometimes have to down one person, run around a building, plate up, regain, and choose another location, shoot someone trying to res him. And this comes down to sound, listening to the game, listening to the cues of what's happening. A lot of times in Verdansk, I could just run around and do whatever I wanted. But in Caldera, I definitely think sound is more important than ever. And sometimes you won't even hear someone next to you. But like your Gulag in houses, when people are all running over and you have 7 to 8 people, this is very important to use your headset, your mind, and your gun skill in order to win a lot of these situations. These are all my tips and tricks to help you guys out with Caldera, and hopefully this helps. Please let me know if it did help you at all. I love giving tips like this all the time, and it honestly allows me to learn a little bit more about the game myself, even when speaking it to you guys. Hope you guys liked this video. Until next time.